To some, Triple H's new WWE feels slightly different and feels refreshed. But to me, Triple H's side of WWE has always felt a little more fun, a little more unpredictable, a little cooler, if you will. From Triple H showing up at ICW shows in the UK to NXT working with Evolve. Even in 2018, NXT UK's champion Pete Dunne faced off against New Japan's IWGP champion Will Ospreay in a show in the UK felt crazy. It felt foreign. It felt mind-blowing. Now, these examples aren't me saying that this is the first time WWE has ever worked with any other companies, but at the time, it definitely felt real strange to see anybody from WWE, from the umbrella of WWE, go anywhere except WWE. And for these reasons and more, people felt like WWE would be better off once Vince stepped down and Triple H took over. Time skip to 2023. Vince McMahon is out due to some terrible things. Then he's back in, and now he's back out again. Triple H is in as Chief Content Officer, and TKO Holdings has been created with the merger of WWE and UFC. We are now in the post-Vince era of WWE. To start off this new era, Shinsuke Nakamura went to Japan's Pro Wrestling Noah to face off against the Great Muta, and will be Great Muta's final singles match. And then, towards the end of 2023, we would see WWE and AJPW start a partnership. WWE would send Charlie Dempsey to Japan to face off against Katsuhiko Nakajima for the AJPW Triple Crown title. Fast forward to January of 2024, WWE Royal Rumble, St. Petersburg, Florida. Entry number 5 in the Women's Royal Rumble, TNA's Jordynne Grace. Now, for the people who read the spoilers, Jordynne Grace wasn't that big of a surprise. But for me, I chose not to read them. I was stunned. To be fair, 2 years prior, Mickie James, then knockout champion, did enter into the Women's Royal Rumble. That was more so of a, my bad, we fired you and threw your shit in the bag apology. This was something new. Jordynne had never set foot in a WWE ring before, and she was dominating for 19 minutes. By the time WrestleMania 40 weekend had come around, we had seen Shayna Baszler and Charlie Dempsey compete in Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 10 with a bunch of WWE superstars and Nick Khan watching them compete. Then, just a few days ago, on the May 28th edition of NXT, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez is standing in the middle of the ring waiting for Ava Raine to tell her who her opponent for Battleground Las Vegas is going to be. And to the surprise of everyone, Jordynne Grace's music blares, Titantron lights up with Jordynne Grace, and the crowd erupts in chants of TNA. To my knowledge, Jordynne Grace is doing the unheard of. She is facing a WWE wrestler for a WWE title on a WWE pay-per-view /PLE in a WWE ring, all while being acknowledged as a, as far as we know of, non-affiliated WWE company's champion. And she's already had a match on WWE cable programming and won. These past few months have felt so fun to me as a wrestling fan. Does this happen in AEW all the time? Yes, obviously. But I expect them to do it. And it's not uncommon. I watch AEW for the dream matches. But for WWE to do this within a span of 2 years, after essentially shutting out the wrestling world, feels kind of weird. Feels kind of strange, man. this brings me to the main idea of this whole opinion piece, speculative shebang-a-bang. Under Triple H, Nick Khan, and TKO, WWE is once again working with outside companies. WWE is supposedly working with Dreamstar Fighting Marigold. They are partnering with AJPW. And now, from everything that I've read, they have a multi-event partnership with TNA. And interestingly enough, if AAA and TNA are still working together, now that Scott D'Amore has left, that could open up even more dream matches and even more fun for me, at least. You can have the Rascals getting back together. You can have Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles going back to the Impact Zone. You could have Eli Drake, LA Knight, go back and get his dummy, button. You could have ABC versus New Day, which they've, teased. You could have Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali, which they've teased. You could have Joe Hendry at Clash of at the Clash at the Castle. And let's face it, on both sides of the WWE NXT TNA collab, there aren't too many wrestlers on either side that can't bounce back from a loss or a win. Now, here's a very interesting and some might say very sad side note. As I record this, there is a lot of rumor and scuttlebutt that TNA is currently making itself more acquisition friendly. They're releasing a lot of higher ups that were very pro Scott D'Amore. Some are even just leaving. And it seems like the company doesn't have any tapings scheduled past August. And it seems like the company is just going to come to a screeching halt a la Ring of Honor in late 2021 or ECW 2001. Now, TNA could go the route of Ring of Honor and be sold off and become, while still a relevant and pretty good time to watch, slightly forgotten fourth or fifth brand of a company. TNA could take over a spot of a WWE programming that's on the Peacock network, like NXT Level Up or Main Event. Or if WWE is following UFC's protocol now, they could treat TNA like UFC treated JCK or Invictus FC. And that's put it on a Fight Pass style paywall and put the events up there, as well as having TNA's TNA Plus. Since it's under the Endeavor umbrella anyways, since TNA uses Endeavor streaming services for TNA Plus, it seems like it could be fairly simple. Who truly knows what the future holds for TNA? I don't think anyone does. But if you were to ask me, like if you asked me to say what happens to TNA in the long run and they have to stick to it, I would say go out like Evolve did. Go out working with WWE and have those awesome matches that you had before. Continue to have awesome matches. Add some WWE people in there. Add some NXT people in there. And die on that hill. Die on that hill of being hard to kill. Like the slogan was when you came back with the TNA logo, be hard to kill. And you could even have an ECW Cyberwave 2001 storyline where, like how Taz and Tommy Dreamer won the belt off of Taz after Mike Awesome tried to take the belt to WCW. It could be that. You could have those fire matches, have those fire storylines, and then go out on that blaze of glory. Go out in that blaze of glory, die on that hill of being hard to kill. Could TNA go out in that blaze of glory that I was talking about? Or will we see something closer to WCW Night of Champions, where we have somebody come out and buy TNA, a la WWE? Or will TNA unfortunately go out like so many wrestling companies have, and that's with a fizzle? All in all, this has been a very surface level look at WWE working with other wrestling companies. And that's a very surface level look at professional wrestling companies now working with independent companies. I haven't even talked too much about what I consider essentially pro wrestling's Switzerland, and that's GCW.